Hey, this is JP with Central Idaho Mountain Weather. It's September 8th, 2025, looking at a sunrise over the Pioneers from last week when I was walking into Tornac Hut. And if you're still enjoying this broadcast, we ask to do a one-time donation, or even better, sign up for that monthly sustaining membership. Today's going to be pretty dry. We're not going to see any rain showers, no significant ones, maybe some virga. Most of that rain is going to come through on Tuesday and Wednesday when we have higher widespread showers and isolated to scattered thunder showers. So 10 to 30%, depending on what part of the area you're going to be in. It's going to be more rainfall in the sawtooths. Temps are going to continue to cool through Wednesday or Friday. The highest elevations could see little snow. There's very little, there's just some speckles of snow coming through on the MBM forecast. So it's more of a dream than maybe actually happening. But it's that time of year. Looking at the mid-level water vapor map this morning, you could see some water vapor coming through this morning, and then it's going to be a little bit drier behind that a little bit. There's that circulation of low pressure off the coast. It's eventually going to work its way over Northern California into Idaho through the week. Looking at the satellite imagery this morning, just a little bit of cloud coverage. It's going to be a thin layer of clouds today, so sun definitely will be poking through and dry, like I said. The HER forecast is, the HER model is basically not really showing much until tomorrow afternoon. It seems like the HER is kind of out to lunch, really. If we go over to the NAM and really maybe some virga late tonight, and then tonight into tomorrow morning, there's going to be more showery activity across the Wood River Valley, all the way up into the Sawtooths. And then towards daybreak, it looks like there could be some heavier precip falling in the Wood River Valley. And then building more into the Sawtooths later in the day. So we'll see what pans out. I'm going to check in on this tomorrow and see if it changes at all. I'm going to speed this up this is for tomorrow afternoon. The chance of thunder showers are pretty low in the Wood River Valley. As you go further up towards Stanley, you're getting into the 40 to 60% chance. And I think it's going to be like that on Wednesday as well. Rainfall amounts, really not anything much to write home about. A few hundredths of an inch down here in the Wood River Valley, maybe a tenth to 2 inches or 0.2 inches of rain over the next few days up there. If you add this up cumulatively, it could see 3/4 of an inch up in the Sawtooths through the week. So not going to be everyday downpours, just a little bit of showery activity. Looking at the temperatures in the Wood River Valley, we're going to start to just slowly get down into the upper 60s. By Friday is going to be kind of the coolest day out there. Overnight temps are still hanging on in the mid 40s, so I don't think you have to worry about any frost yet. And our best chance of rain in the Wood River Valley is going to be on Friday. We will see some showers maybe tomorrow, if the NAM forecast pulls through. Looking at kind of that snow, best chances for snow is going to be Friday morning, and this is looking at Donaldson Peak over the MBM forecast for Donaldson Peak over in the Lost River Range. Really kind of have to get up to 12,000 feet or so to see some snow, but it is showing up with maybe a trace to half inch of snow up there. So keep that in mind if you're going to be scrambling up high in the mountains. This is looking at the MBM forecast for how much snow we can get. You can see It's really not that much. It's just a couple of specks here, and this is across the Lost River Range where it's tall enough to actually, or cold enough to actually snow with elevation gain. Maybe a couple specks near the Pioneers. Kind of have to have the right ratio of temperatures and precip over the area for that to happen. Okay, looking at the 500 millibar charts, here's our area of low pressure. This is eventually going to work its way onto the coast through the week. So we're not going to get direct hit, but it is going to be southwest flow moving into us. And then as that area of low pressure moves over and kind of widens, elongates, we're going to get wraparound moisture probably from the northeast and eastern side of the mountains into Friday. And then that pushes off for the weekends. And then we have another area of low pressure coming in after the end of the weekend. So we'll see what happens with that storm system. I had a follower ask more about Stanley, Redfish, Stanley Lake location for weather. I would say it's not going to be a complete rain out, but we are going to pick up 2 to 3/10 of an inch each day, which will add up. So this week is looking like by Friday you could see close to an inch of rain. I know that kind of sounds like a lot, but if we look at the amounts that each day happens, the precip rates are really going to be 1/10 of an inch. And this is over let me see for a second here. Yeah, 3 to 6 hour span. So really not that much rain. It's going to be rainier compared to how it usually is. But I don't think it's going to be a complete washout. We'll be getting pretty chilly at night. You're going to be down to freezing levels, which isn't crazy. The Sawtooth Valley has a lot of cool air that sinks into it each night with clear skies. It's going to be kind of cloudy, but it typically gets pretty inverted up there. So, and if we kind of move up in elevation, sticking on the Sawtooth, this is for at Bench Lake elevation. We actually showing less rain, which is a little bit weird. By the weekends, I don't know, it's about the same. Sorry, I take that back. About an inch of rain by Saturday. And about the same rates. Yeah, really not too much change from valley floor to the peaks. And yeah, lastly, looking at rain amounts, if people are still hanging on, through Wednesday, you can start to see it picks up, and the hot spot here is kind of up in the Sawtooth. This is looking at Decker all the way up to Williams is kind of this little spot here. And by Friday evening, you can see it really could be pushing over an inch of rain up there, but that's like over 5 days of rain. So we'll see what happens with that. This is the MBM model, kind of is a blend of every single model out there. So it kind of takes the best running average. That's what I usually like to focus on when I'm looking out past 2 or 3 days. All right, hope that helps.